Mozambique has recorded its first day of zero COVID-19 infections, in addition to zero COVID deaths on Monday and zero hospitalization in 24 hours throughout the country. Some 18 people were still recovering from COVID. This milestone is a first since the pandemic started. Since March 2020, over 200,000 cases were confirmed and 2,196 died after contracting the virus. The authorities attributed the zero cases to the mass vaccination campaign and the public compliance with the social distancing rules. The adherence to mask wearing and hand washing also contributed to the zero COVID infection. The government launched the mass vaccination campaign last year, targeting to inoculate 17 million inhabitants by late December 2021.
Mourners in northwestern Nigeria buried their dead on Tuesday after clashes between a local self-defense vigilante group and armed gunmen killed at least 57 people. According to the police, the clashes occurred Monday in the Zuru district of Kebbi State in northwestern Nigeria. The gunmen were heavily armed and were fleeing military operations in neighboring Niger State when they were intercepted by the local vigilantes. Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari condemned the killings while urging security forces to increase efforts. In January, Nigeria's government labeled the criminal gangs as terrorist groups in an attempt to bring tougher sanctions against the gunmen and their informants. Last year, criminal gangs raided a number of schools and kidnapped students in a bid to squeeze more ransom out of local communities.
The Mauritanian Foreign Ministry accused the Malian army of crimes against its nationals on Tuesday. The move came after Mauritanian civilians disappeared in unclear circumstances at the border region of Adelbegru. The ministry summoned the Malian ambassador to protest the recurring act. Audio files allegedly recorded by eyewitnesses circulating on social media directly incriminated Mali's army. In January, 7 Mauritanians died in the same region, and after an inquiry, Bamako said there was no evidence linking its army to the deaths. However, tensions didn't subside. Since ECOWAS sanctions hit Mali, the transitional authorities had found in Mauritania a privileged partner. Thousands of demonstrators were back in the streets of Khartoum on Tuesday. The rally came as women around the world celebrate International Women's Day. Alongside male peers, female protesters faced tear gas fired by the security forces. Demonstrators like Amina al-Bashri wouldn't have missed the rally for the world. I'm here today because the day marks International Women's Day and because civilian rule calls for democracy and women's rights, and hopefully we will be victorious. Sudanese women have been at the forefront of demonstrations since a series of protests against the removal of the last civilian-led government started. They've marched demanding the return of constitutionality. We are protesting to deliver the message that we are against military rule, as well as against the militias who are ruling the country and controlling the reins of power. We are also calling for a civilian country. Despite protest, the ruling military said it would only hand power to an elected government. Women played a major role during the 2019 uprising that resulted in the ouster of longtime leader Omar al-Bashir. United States Deputy Secretary of State Wendy Sherman visited Rabat on Tuesday. She met with Moroccan Foreign Minister Nasser Bourita. If bilateral consultations were per the agenda, the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine was a hot topic.
We discussed the biggest security challenge facing the global community today, and that is President Putin's premeditated, unjustified, and unprovoked war in Ukraine. The United States is coordinating on an ongoing basis with our allies and partners around the world to impose severe costs and consequences on President Putin and his enablers for the unprovoked war on Ukraine. We call on President Putin to agree to a ceasefire, immediately withdraw his troops from Ukraine, move the forces he's built up away from Ukraine's borders, and as Morocco has, to call for dialogue to get to peace.
During the working meeting, the two officials talked about strengthening cooperation between Morocco, the State of Israel, and the United States. They also discussed the issue of the Sahara as the US representative backed the Moroccan resolution plan.
On the Western Sahara, the United States and Morocco both strongly support the efforts of Staffan de Mistura, the United Nations Secretary General's personal envoy for Western Sahara, and we do so with an open mind to find a resolution that will lead to an enduring and dignified outcome for all parties. We continue to view Morocco's autonomy plan as serious, credible, and realistic.
The vast desert area bordering the Atlantic and Mauritania has been claimed by Rabat and Western Sahara since 1975. Western Sahara clings to self-determination referendum, while Morocco proposes a greater autonomy.